Welcome to the Roots and Branches JJC Alumni Podcast. As the nation's first community college, JJC has been making history since 1901. With more than 70,000 alumni, we have an endless supply of stories to share. Listen in to find out how deep our alumni's JJC roots go and how far they've been able to branch out into our community and beyond. Welcome back, everybody, and happy holidays. We're so excited to have this very special guest here today because while the holiday season is magical for a lot of reasons, here in the JJC Foundation, it's a time where we really reflect on giving and all of the wonderful donors and people that make it possible for us to change the lives of so many of our students. Every year for our end of year appeal, our office likes to highlight some of our scholarship recipients to share their stories, talk about the impact that the scholarships have made. But this year, we wanted to try something a little bit different. We have a very special alum, one of our youngest alums, who was not only the recipient of scholarships 2 years ago and featured in our end of year appeal, but now he's back and he's on this podcast today to talk about how generosity has come full circle in his life. So without further ado, I want to introduce JJC alum and one of our technical analysts here at JJC, Mr. Zach Hamidi. Zach, thank you so much for being here and being a guest today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
Yeah, this is something we were really excited to do. When you first came to us, you started JJC 2021 and you were a scholarship recipient, so excited to be a part of it. I never could have imagined that we would get to sort of watch you grow into this amazing person and such an advocate of JJC. And now you're working here and I get to see you as a colleague on a daily basis. It's so much fun. And I'm so excited to get to tell your story today.
Yeah, I'm actually thrilled to share my story. I mean, I didn't expect to be in the position where I am now, but now that I'm here, I'm incredibly grateful to be here. I don't know, where do you want to start?
Oh, well, I think we need to start back when we first met you. You came to JJC having overcome some really difficult struggles in your life. And if you feel comfortable, why don't you share a little bit about what your childhood was like and some of the struggles that kind of caused challenges for you?
Yeah, so growing up, I would say I didn't really have like the typical childhood. I mean, typical is relative, but for me, I lived in the basements of strangers' homes. I mean, we didn't really have a permanent resident. We didn't have our own home, my family. I mean, we kind of bounced from place to place, and I didn't have the luxury of staying at one school, middle school, high school. No, middle school for too long, strictly because we would bounce around often. And yeah, aside from moving frequently, there was also a matter of being able to afford clothes, shoes, just a typical lack of funding challenges, right? I didn't really have much to keep myself entertained as a kid. I mean, I lived in a basement. I didn't really have much. I didn't have any fancy computer or some expensive console to play off of, right? Things were definitely rough. I mean,
Yeah.
I was one of those kids in what was it, elementary school that would roll around a red suitcase filled with foods donated by the school district. I'd
Yes,
imagine most of my peers weren't like that.
I know. I remember reading your scholarship essay and you were so vulnerable in it and you really just shared a piece. I hope you don't mind, but I'm reading a little bit of it. But you said there was a time when my family and I were forced to sleep in the basement of other people's houses. Red suitcases filled with food that I rolled from school would act as our lunch and dinner. But although we struggled, we always made the most of what we had. And fortunately, my dad studied vigorously in computer science and took our family out of poverty. So one thing that you said in that scholarship essay and the way that you then relayed that to us as we met you as this new student was that, yeah, you had some really hard times, but you had a pretty amazing family.
My family, I would say they were built with grit through their teeth, and they definitely pulled some. They did everything. I mean, their skin is hardened. They went through the ringer. They went through everything. Skin is ironed out, toughened, whatever you want to say. Yeah, I mean, my dad and mom both came from a completely different country, Malaysia, and to be thrown here, not thrown here. They came here on a full ride, but that's a whole other story. They
Yeah.
came to the US not knowing a look of English, and they had to learn on their own, and they went to NIU, and there isn't really other Malaysians. I mean, Malaysians as a
Mhm.
community, like we're already tight knit as it is. There aren't really a lot of us. Yeah, I remember a story my dad told me for a good chunk of his life, and I don't even think I was born during this time. Maybe part of it, whatever. The point is, he worked as I think a pizza delivery man for a long while. And as a taxi driver, he did all sorts of jobs in Chicago. And I remember there was a day where he was just tired of just bouncing between the streets of Chicago, giving food. And more often than not, he wasn't given the respect that he wanted or deserved, right? And then one day he sat down at his desk and he really thought to himself, I can do better than this. I'm so much better than this. I came here to this foreign country with the intent of doing something great. And then one day he looked at I think it was like something IT centric. I believe it was the CompTIA A plus, read through the
Okay.
material, and he really thought to himself, and he reminded himself, he was like, I forgot I was smart. I forgot that I'm fully capable of more than I'm doing right now. And so he
Mhm.
studied his butt off. He took all the books from the libraries because keep in mind, during this time, technology wasn't the
Mhm.
greatest. So he studied vigorously. He grabbed all sorts of resources. He asked people in his broken English where to go. And my dad was one aspect of it.
Mhm.
But through my mom's perspective, she had to raise 5 kids. 5 kids. Me, my 3 brothers, and my oldest sister. There was 5 of us, 7 of us in total. And it's not easy, especially when you're
No.
pinching pennies just to get by. And I
Mhm.
really look up to my mom for that. I mean, even to this day, I mean, I'm still 23 years old and my mom still cooks for me. I mean, I have no shame in it.
Aw, I
Um,
love that. Yeah, and I think that their work ethic has clearly rubbed off on you because you really excelled in high school and
mhm.
probably in the grades even before that, but you really excelled in high school despite any of the challenges that you and your family were going through, and I know that your parents had a lot to do with that. What was it about high school? Like, did you start to find your place there?
So when it came to high school, well, it was more so there wasn't much to do at my own like personal life. I had a basement, I had a laptop that barely worked. I was at a point where I could only go up, right? And not being raised with anything fancy, any fancy computer or console, the only place where I felt involved was my high school, Joliet Central at the time. So I did everything that I could, everything that I possibly could have done to keep myself occupied. I did various clubs. I did leadership positions. I was president of choir. I did extracurricular choir. I was team captain of tennis. I did mathletes. I was that kid. I was the dork. I was a dork that didn't have much compared to everyone else, right?
Listen, being
And
a dork
by
is in right now. It's really popular. It's
oh, I
like
love it.
cool. Yeah, it's cool to be a dork.
I was a dork before it was cool, let me tell you. And yeah, all these efforts kind of flourished and they worked in tandem with each other. And none of that
Yeah.
would have been possible if it weren't for the work ethic my parents displayed, right? And it's really sad that it actually came that way. Like no one wants to flaunt the fact that they're a hard worker because didn't have anything. I mean,
Yeah, but you used it to your advantage. You made the absolute most of your college experience, and that really showed in your grades too. And so when it came time for you to start thinking about college, you weren't short on offers, right? You had some pretty big opportunities.
oh my gosh, I got offers from a plethora of prestigious universities. I can't even think of them off the top of my head, but it was just so many. I mean, there's ISU, there's NIU. I think I got an offer from Northwestern, if I remember
Mhm.
correctly. And these are really like nice schools, relatively prestigious schools, schools that people would love to go to. The problem was with most people, like similar to most people, university is expensive, right?
Uh-huh.
College is expensive. And that tuition aspect was extremely daunting to me coming out of high school, and keep in mind, I was like the poster child of Joliet Central. I graduated as Mr. J, which was our institution's, well, high school's version of valedictorian. So
Yeah.
I was this role model that everyone's looking up to. But when people ask me, so Zach, what university do you want to go to? I look at them in the eyes and I say, I don't know if I want to go to university. I don't know if I want to go to a 4 year. I don't know if I have the time, money, resources to commit to something so committal, so life changing, right? And I guess a couple of the things that kind of swayed me towards JGC was that through the kindness of JGC, I say kindness, but also rigorously writing up essays and
Yeah.
submitting them like crazy, I was
Yeah.
awarded a high school endowed scholarship, right? And it was a rather large amount, like an amount that probably paid my tuition for a semester and then some. So I had the scholarship from JJC and the other, I don't even know, 10 scholarships that I spam applied through Common App. I was able to essentially go to JGC on a full ride, right?
Yep.
But a huge part of that was thanks to foundation. thanks to the institutional advancement department at JJC. And without them, I don't think I would be where I'm at today.
Yeah, and our department is what it is because we have the donors that we do that see the potential in helping students like you who don't even know for sure if they want to go to college in general, let alone go away to a four-year school. And as we all know, even though you had the brains and the extracurriculars and the resume and the essays to get into these prestigious schools, they're not always offering you full ride. And then you're
No.
looking at a family like yours who's got 5 kids that they've got to support, and I believe that you even told me way back when you were the scholarship recipient that you were happy to be here because you weren't quite ready to like launch fully. You wanted to come here and have the college experience, but you wanted it to be economical, and you were just
Mhm.
already thinking so ahead of your time, Zach, in terms of like, what will this mean later if I go to a four-year school and I can't afford it? What does that mean later? The fact that you were already, as just a recent high school grad, already thinking about the future just showed, the kind of person you are. And you didn't waste a minute here. You kind of had that same high school vibe of I want to be in everything when you got to JJC. So what are
Mhm.
some of your favorite things that you did as a student here? Some of the things you were involved in?
Oh my gosh, where do I even begin? I mean, for starters, I think the first no, second semester I was here at JGC, I got myself involved with extracurriculars,
Yeah.
one of the main ones being Gamers Club. I mean, I'm a dork. I mean, I like
Tell
playing.
us what Gamers Club is.
So Gamers Club is, like I said, an extracurricular offered at
Right.
JJC, and this is more so a place where people who enjoy not only video games, but card games, D&D-esque games, Dungeon and Dragons-esque games, role-playing kind games.
So fun. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's basically a community of people who just enjoy playing games of all types, tabletop, video games, whatever. But no, I remember I came that second semester at JGC and there wasn't a president. I think the president from the previous semester, they just up and left. And Paul Schroeder, the advisor of Gamers Club at this time, he was looking around and he was looking for someone to step up and really take that position, right? He scanned the room and he says something along the lines of, if anyone's interested, please talk to me. And as he was leaving, it was kind of weird. I think I like followed Shirley right behind him. As he's walking to his office, I'm like
Like, I'll
right
do it.
behind him. Yeah, but yeah, it's something I'm passionate about, and I just enjoy being in leadership positions in general. See, I told him I was interested, and Paul is a huge fan of self-starters, people who are self-motivated, people who are willing to
Mhm.
put themselves out there. All of these traits I resonate greatly within myself. So I did gamer clubs things.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
I
you were
ran.
also you a huge part in CMOS, right?
Yes, so CMOS, the Center of Multicultural Access and Success. So this group particularly pertains to minority groups, I would say, or less represented groups. One of the main things I did with CMOS would be like, oh, my favorite one would have to be the Arab American Heritage Month,
Oh,
where I
yeah.
performed with a four-piece band. I played a forward instrument called a saz, and they pretty much said, Zach, learn this instrument and throw yourself out there. And I was like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing, but let's just do it, right? It was so fun organizing that event with like my friends. I was playing the saz, which is like, I believe it originates in Jordan, but please fact check me on that. Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
Um, we had my friend Olivia Kicks playing bass. We have my friend Gato playing guitar. My friend Marco playing piano. It was wonderful. But besides CMOS, another thing that I was passionate about would be I love music, right? I did choir at
Yes.
JGC,
You sure
and I
did.
took it for non-credit, which was phenomenal. I didn't know JGC had offered non-credit versions of music classes, so I could perform with my friends without having to pay anything.
And you were so great in choir. You had or
I
was it
loved it.
different event? I you could tell though, you could tell, and it wasn't just you, I felt like that choir was like a family, that all of you just got along so well, and I'd see you guys at events, and we even have a photo of you that's going to be in this end of year appeal that will go out of you in choir, and it's all your buddies. I mean, what a great experience to be doing
Mhm.
something you love with your friends and your peers. It was awesome.
It was phenomenal. I mean, we were a family. We hung out after school, like one giant group of choir kids. It's something that I will forever cherish, and I'm glad that I'm involved with. On the same vein of music, I also performed at JGC for their musical programs, like performing on stage in the theater. I was a part of their Theory of Relativity cast, and I assisted with their student choral direction, or I was the director for student teaching for
Amazing.
their vocals and whatnot for their
Mhm.
production of Pirates of Penzance. Very funny musical. I recommend
Yeah, that
giving it
was
a watch.
great. It's a good one.
Yeah, but no. all these extracurriculars were imposed on me. They were offered to me. They were realized to me through JJC because I mean, JJC wants people involved, and I'm glad I was happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, and you did, like I said, you experienced everything that JJC had to offer. You immersed yourself in every activity that you did, made great friends, and I think that's why it was such an easy transition when you, after graduating from JJC, were offered an opportunity to continue working here because you were already a student worker, correct?
As a
Yep.
student worker and then a part timer.
Okay. And then you're graduating from
Hmm.
JJC and another opportunity comes up. Talk about that. I like this
Oh
story.
my gosh, this opportunity. So, like you said, Jen, I was a student worker for a good year or so from 2023 to 2024.
Mm.
Halfway through 2024, I believe in August, I was offered a part time role for a technical analyst role, right? It's something I'm deeply passionate about. And they knew this. I was working in IT as a student worker. They knew how passionate I was. And I
Mhm.
think my hiring managers at the time, Jake Sahani, he really saw my passion. And I think Jeff Fisher also saw my passion. And months come later, come March of this year, a full time job opens up for the exact same position, just more hours, right?
It's fate.
I applied to it.
It was fate.
Yeah, it was absolutely fate. I mean, I
Mm.
couldn't have asked for a better time. I mean, what do you mean I get to work at the institution I love and put so much time into right after getting my degree? And it was funny because I was walking down the stage with my cap and gown and everything, and one of the people whose hands I had to shake, not had to, but chose to shake as he was
Yeah.
staying with a lineup of other people, was Jeff Fisher, who is now my director. So it's
Mhm.
funny. It's like I shook his hand, walk off the stage. A couple weeks later, I came right back. Like it was so funny.
And now he's your boss.
And now he's my boss, the best boss I could ever ask for. That entire
Aw,
department,
it's a
they're
nice
very
shout out.
and shout out to Jake Deheny, Josh Ario, and Jeff Fisher for being some of the best hiring managers out there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, now I work at JGC, and it's interesting when you said you've experienced everything JGC had to offer. I experienced everything JGC had to offer through a student's perspective.
Mm.
Now we're going to the more employee centric side, right?
Yeah.
So the previous years, I would learn about like clubs. I went to CCC meetings. I saw what students were like. Now I'm on the other side of the coin where I see how does everyone. I literally go to every single department on campus and I learn about everyone's like cats, their dogs, their children. I mean,
But you learn all that because of the type of person that you are on campus. So you're coming into work with the same perspective that you had as a student, which is that I want to get to know people. I want to enjoy my time here. I want to be involved. I want to do it all. And I think that when we started seeing you showing up in our offices, it's funny because I do the appeals and stuff. And I knew right off the bat, I'm like, that's Zach. That's Zach Hamidi. He was our scholarship recipient. We did that piece on him and he's still working here. And everyone's like, oh, that's right. It's Zach. Now, everywhere I say your name, somebody knows who you are. And I know that's just
yeah.
being in IT, but it's because you take the time to get to know people.
Yeah, I think I love this job because it's very people centric. I have to
Mhm.
know our end users. I mean, I like sitting down and talking to them and say like, "How's your day?" And if they tell me about their kids from a previous time, I ask them about that. I love being in this role because one, I like being involved in JGC. I know what I do will contribute to the greater good of this institution. And two, I mean, there's just good people here. You have
Yes, there
professionals
are. Mhm.
from all departments and whatnot. And
Yep.
I think my personality, in conjunction with the nature of this role, it just plays out very nicely.
Well, it does. And you're not just coming to work doing your job, you're getting to know people. And like you just said, you're starting to see just how your presence and how you're able to help people. Now, you're able to help people with some really important stuff like our
Mm.
computers. Okay. There are a lot of non tech savvy
Holy
people on this
cow!
campus, and your
Yeah.
level of patience with those people, including me, is just amazing. And the way that you relate to us and help us. So you're helping us. But one of the things that I just found so amazing and special about you is when you came one day to our office and you asked the question, like, hey guys, I just got done. You just got done fixing computers. I forget what you were in here helping us with,
Mhm.
one of a million tasks. And you said, I you almost got tears in your eyes, but you were like, I am finally in a position with this great job and I'm working here at JJC and I'm here because of what was offered to me as a student. I don't have a lot to give yet, but I have enough to give and I want to do that. How do I become a donor? And I remember you leaving then and thinking like, this I can't even, this is his like first full-time job and he's already focusing on, okay, how can I give back? How do I sort of make the generosity that was given to me come full circle? And so you did. You made your first donation. It's going back to student scholarships, some of the same that helped you get where you are. What like motivated you? What was the thought process? How were you already thinking about that?
I think there's a part of me that believes by me contributing to the greater good, aka donating to a potential scholarship recipient,
Yeah.
there'll be someone else out there like me who's apprehensive about going to a community college or going
Mhm.
to a 4 year. I want to be able to help someone and support their goals on achieving what I've achieved, right? I want them to be in a position where they give community college a test run. They go to an institution that offers a plethora of opportunities, but they're not sure if they want to commit to it. JGC as a whole, it allows people for who are indecisive about going to a 4 year to at least give it a trial run, and at the same time finish accredited classes and graduate with little to no tuition if done correctly.
So, as a younger alum who's really just kind of kicked off in your career, what are some of your future goals? Where do you see yourself?
I think about the future often, but now I'm at a point where I don't know. Right now I'm finishing up my bachelor's through the benefits offered at JJC.
Mm.
A lot of classes transfer over and our union is pretty good about it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm just
So you're just
finishing up my
seeing where the
bachelor's
wind takes you at this point. You're just happy and you're
where
content in your role here.
I have a general idea. And if I stay
Mhm.
here long enough, I'm a tier one technician, but I believe if I stay here long enough, the intent is they want to move me up. They being the people above me want
Yep.
to move me up to a tier two technician. So I oversee a couple buildings, right?
Yep.
But I don't know. I know I think there's beauty in not knowing. I think for so long I've been thinking about what could have been, would have been, should have been, about the future, the past, the present.
Yeah.
And now I'm at a point in my life where let's just back off for a sec. Let's take a little
Yes.
breather and see where the wind takes us, like you said.
And I love that because I don't think people pause or feel comfortable pausing. I think that there is maybe this like pressure all the time. What's next? What's next? And we're not
Mhm.
just enjoying the moment and you're loving your job and you're loving the opportunities and benefits that JJC is giving you to continue your education. And I think
Yeah.
it speaks a lot to our institution as a whole that there are opportunities to grow within. But I think it also speaks to your incredible team and the work that you're doing that people want you to stay. They're encouraging your growth, they're encouraging you to take the next step. And I think that's wonderful because you're then going to do the same. I can already tell you're just that type of person that will continue to encourage others to do that. And so we knew that you were the right choice for this, our end of year highlight. I mean, we love showing our scholarship recipients, especially at the start of their career, but you were just such this perfect opportunity to this young alum who's already seeing just the power of giving and it being like the holiday season. And that's what we're
Mhm.
always thinking is where there's a million places our money can go to support different causes and needs, but you showing that just like what those gifts made to your life and now how you're shaping others was just really impactful. And I'm so happy that we got to tell that story. Now, you've already given a little bit of advice to students, but what would you say in a room with future wolves? Think back to 2021 Zach coming out of Joliet Central High School. What is some advice that you could share to students at that age?
I say you don't have to know what you want to do specifically, but whatever you do, make sure you implement it well. And if you're going to go to college, if you want to be fiscally responsible, I believe JGC is the most correct choice, strictly because of my experiences with the opportunities and whatnot. But ultimately, do what makes you happy, and whatever you do, implement well.
That's excellent advice. I think we're going to have to let marketing know that line. We're always considered that JJC is the first choice, but I like that you said that JJC is the correct choice. Bravo. That was good. I like it. Zach, thank you so much for being here today. I
Yeah.
couldn't have picked a better guest to end our year appeal, and we're so excited to get to be telling your story and featuring you at the end of this year. It's so inspiring to see you, and I feel very lucky as your colleague now to get to work with such an amazing person on a regular basis.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me. And, I'm going to cry. I want to give back to the institutions that's given me so much, and this is the least I can do. So thank you for allowing me to be on your podcast.
We loved having you. And if anyone listening is so moved, wants to make a bold gift like Zach has done this year and give to the JJC Foundation, you can do so at any time in any amount at jjc.edu/give to JJC. And if you follow us on our social media platforms, be sure to watch. We've got some amazing video clips and different little pieces of Zach that we're going to be highlighting all throughout the month of December. And we hope that you'll check those out. So to all of our listeners, happy holidays, and we will see you in the new year. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Roots and Branches JJC Alumni Podcast. For more episodes, information, foundation events, and ways to give or get involved, visit jjc.edu/alumni.